Hi, it's Miss Lisa from the St. Paris Public Library. Today's Anytime story is Spotlight on Nature, Sea Turtle. Meet the family, hawk-billed sea turtles of Sikopo. Sikopo is part of the Salmon Islands in Malaysia. This tiny island has no human inhabitants. Rare orchids grow in its swampy forest. Yellow-bellied sunbirds sing, striking green and black meeks graphium butterflies swirl around fruit blossoms. Salmon Island palm frogs call to one another. Near the sandy beaches, red-footed boobies and black muties perch on shrubs scout the area as they prepare to nest. Close to the shore, in the dazzling blue waters surrounding the island, dugongs graze on seagrass. Crabs skitter along the soft seabed. In deeper water, corals and sponges form reefs where thousands of animals thrive. It is mid-June. The water is warm. As the sun meets the horizon, a full moon begins to rise. Buried underneath the sand for 2 months, more than 150 hawk-billed sea turtle eggs have been developing. Now the time has come for the eggs to hatch. Life begins. Sea turtles are aquatic reptiles. They live in the sea but breathe air. Like all reptiles, sea turtles lack the ability to make their own body heat. To warm themselves, sea turtles swim near the water's surface to absorb the sun's heat. When they need to cool off, they dive under the waves to cooler water. Sea turtles propel themselves through their environment by paddling their 4 flippers. Their bodies are protected by armor. The top covering is called the carapace. The bottom is called plastron. These 2 pieces are held together by bones called bridges. Close-up, boys or girls? Nest temperatures determine the gender of hatchlings. Exact temperatures vary by type, but on average, temperatures above 87 degrees produces females, and temperatures below 82 degrees produce males. Carapace, flipper, plastron. Welcome to the world. On the sandy shore of Sikopo, crabs emerge from the burrows and scramble across the beach. Night has fallen and a full moon hangs in the sky. A mound of dry sand stirs. Dozens of tiny brown hatchlings bubble up from beneath the sand. Their vision is weak, but they see the round white moon reflecting on the ocean's surface. Crabs skitter towards the sea turtle hatchlings, claws snapping eagerly. Flipper running with all her strength, one little hatchling races ahead of her siblings towards the moonlight. There are 7 sea turtle species. Each species has a distinct color and shape. The leatherback sea turtle is the largest. Its long front flippers can span nearly 9 feet. It can grow to 7 feet long and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. Its black carapace is made of rubbery skin reinforced by thousands of small bony plates. Other sea turtle shells are made up of about 50 bony plates. The smallest sea turtles are the olive ridley and the Kemp's ridley. They grow to no more than 100 pounds. Their shells are typically less than 30 inches long. Close-up. Goggles. Sea turtles have a see-through inner eyelid called a nictitating membrane that closes over each eye. These membranes act like swimming goggles. As adults, sea turtles roam the open oceans alone. When the time comes to mate, they migrate back to the waters around the beach where they hatched. Gathering offshore, the sea turtles mate. After a few weeks, males swim back out to sea. Females go ashore at night. They dig holes in the sand and lay a clutch of about 65 to 100 eggs or more that look like ping pong balls. Then they cover the eggs and return to the sea. They may do this up to 7 times in a breeding season. Then they too return to the sea. The baby sea turtles, called hatchlings, will never know their parents. First meal. The female hatchling's brain senses Earth's magnetic field. It directs her to ferociously paddle her flippers until she reaches the South Pacific Ocean. Here she is picked up by the South Equatorial Current. This swiftly moving stream of water carries the hatchlings hundreds of miles out to sea. She encounters a dense carpet of slowly swirling, floating seaweed. Safely hiding under the green canopy, she pokes her nose up for a quick breath every few minutes. A tiny shrimp clings to the seaweed. The hatchling snatches the creature with her beak and swallows her first meal. Early adventures. A sea turtle's life is filled with danger. On land and near shore, seabirds and crabs race to grab hatchlings. Around reefs and in shallow waters, sharks and other large fish may devour young sea turtles. The safest place for hatchlings is far out at sea, where the ocean is mostly devoid of large predators. Too weak to swim for very long, hatchlings ride currents that move in circles and around the open ocean. Sea turtles depend on sunshine and warmth to digest their food and grow. Floating depends on sunshine. Too weak to swim for very long, hatchlings ride currents that move in circles around the open ocean. Sea turtles depend on sunshine and warmth to digest their food and grow. Floating mats of seaweed that also get caught up in the ocean's current provides the perfect habitat for growing sea turtles. The beaches where sea turtles hatch and the currents they ride vary by species. During the first 10 years of life, sea turtles may grow to more than 70 times their hatchling weight. Juveniles remain close by their floating seaweed mat. Algae and zooplankton are abundant, and the mobile habitat provides some protection. After several years, sea turtles return to the open sea to hunt and forage. Sea turtles have a highly developed sense of smell because of a special area on the roof of their mouth called the Jacob's organ. This organ detects the chemical signals of small fish, crustaceans, jellies, worms, algae, whatever organism can be eaten. Look who's exploring. The female hawkbill sea turtle is now 4 years old. She weighs about 14 pounds. From beak to tail, she would almost cover a sheet of notebook paper. On this late June morning, the sea is calm and the sky is sunny. The sea turtle paddles through the water away from the edge of the seaweed mat. Filling her lungs with air, she floats on the water's surface, soaking up the warm sunshine. The current begins to pull her away from her seaweed mat. She quickly paddles back to the safety of the mat. Despite her curiosity, instinct tells her that she's not yet strong or skilled enough to survive in the open sea. Give it a try. Another 3 years have passed. The hawkbill sea turtle's shell is longer than a bowling pin. Her chest and flipper muscles are strong. She swims away from her seaweed mat for the last time. She looks upward and sees nothing but blue sky. She dips her head underwater and sees nothing but blue water. Is she lost? No. Something in her brain tells her exactly which way to go. She sets off paddling east, back towards the coral reefs of the Solomon Islands. Sea turtles hold their breath for 4 to 5 minutes. Life lessons. Sea turtles have varied diets based on their different habitats. Leatherback feeds mostly on jellyfish that drift on ocean currents. Kemps and olive ridley hunt invertebrates in shallow coastal waters. Hawkbills feeding primarily on sponges found at coral reefs. Flatback sea turtles hunt soft-bodied animals such as sea cucumbers and squid. Green sea turtles have a completely vegetarian diet. They munch on algae, seaweed, and other plants. Loggerheads forage for clams, mussels, and crabs on the seabed. If necessary, sea turtles can go several months without food, but they may weaken and fall ill. As they roam the world's oceans, sea turtles follow currents. These fast-flowing streams help sea turtles travel widely without expending a lot of energy. Without currents pushing them along, leatherback sea turtles can swim nearly 6 miles per hour. Other sea turtles max out at less than 2 miles per hour. Sea turtles cannot outpace predators on land or in the water. Only about 1 in 3,000 hatchlings survive from the nest to adulthood. On land, hatchlings fall prey to seabirds, crabs, raccoons, and other predators. At sea, young sea turtles have myriad enemies, from sharks and groupers to mackerel and barracudas. Adult sea turtles are better protected by their shells, but are still no match for orcas and large sharks such as tiger and great white sharks. Leatherbacks brave the open ocean. Most other sea turtles live along coasts or around coral reefs, where large sharks are less common. Ledges and rock crevices also provide hiding places for sea turtles in these areas. Sea turtles typically reproduce every 3 to 6 years. Different species mature at different ages. Olive and Kemp's Ridley typically nest by age 10. Hawkbills mate at 20 to 25 years old, and loggerheads may be 30 years old. Green sea turtles take a long time to reach maturity, up to 50 years. If sea turtles can survive the many perils of life at sea, they can live to be 50, 70, or even 100 years old. This is how it's done. The Silcopo hawkbill sea turtle is back in the Solomon Islands. She arrives at the Munday Reef, a popular cleansing station. Sinking below the waves, she comes to rest on an enormous barrel coral. Immediately, a surgeon fish goes to work on the algae that has collected on the sea turtle's carapace. Her shell is sensitive. She can feel every touch of the surgeon fish's mouth. Cleaner wrasses begin nibbling at her neck and flippers. Regular cleaning will help the sea turtle stay healthy. Practice makes perfect. The 15-year-old hawkbill finds herself at Roviana Lagoon. She cruises above the colorful reef. She spots an orange thistle fan sponge growing in a rock crevice. She drifts down and rests her front flipper on the rock. Then she reaches her long, sharp beak into the crevice and slices off a chunk of sponge. Suddenly, a dark shadow passes overhead. A reef shark. The sea turtle sinks. She lies motionless. Her shell is camouflaged among the brown and yellow rocks and corals. The shark swims on, and the sea turtle returns to feeding. Sea turtle spotting. Sea turtle populations have been steadily declining for decades. Scientists are concerned about the future of sea turtles around the world. All 7 species are endangered. While it is illegal in most places for people to touch sea turtles and their eggs, the reptiles still face many threats. Rising water temperatures, an effect of climate change, and population are making sea turtles sick. One disease causes warty growths on the sea turtle's eyes and mouth, making eating difficult. And sea turtles sometimes mistake garbage for food. Many sea turtles drown when they get caught by huge fishing nets or hooks. Construction on beaches destroys vital nesting sites, and lighted buildings can draw hatchlings away from the sea, where they perish in the sand. The hawkbill is the most endangered sea turtle. For thousands of years, its beautiful shell has been used to make jewelry, combs, and other ornaments. In 1975, these items, known as tortoiseshell, were banned in many countries, but some countries continue to allow the hunting of hawkbills. Only about 25,000 nesting female hawkbills remain on the planet today. One place where hawkbills and other sea turtles can nest in safety is dry Torgas National Park. This protected area is located 67 miles west of Key West, Florida. It is one of North America's most active nesting sites. Scientists have been monitoring sea turtle nesting activity at the park since 1980. In certain places, removing some sea turtle eggs from a nest is actually helpful. In Costa Rica, thousands of sea turtles come ashore to nest at the same time. The nest can be overcrowded and eggs can be damaged. Broken eggs can poison and destroy healthy eggs. For this reason, it is legal to collect eggs within 36 hours of being laid. Many people gather the eggs for food. This leaves a smaller number of eggs, but all have a greater chance of developing properly. The shift in seasonal temperatures that is occurring on Earth also affects sea turtles. They often find themselves stranded in places that are too cold. The South Carolina Aquarium in Charleston, the Georgia Sea Turtle Center on Jekyll Island, and the Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida, are just some of the places where cold-stunned sea turtles are nursed back to health. As humans continue to expand their use of the ocean, sea turtles will need more of our help to survive. Spotlight on Nature, Sea Turtles.